प्रोग्राम सीएमान धाडलेलो पण त्यांच्या काही व्यस्त कारणास्तव ते थोड्या उसरा पावतले सो तांच्या एबसेंटेज भितर आमी हो प्रोग्राम सुरू करता आणि हय एवढे कसं मागीर तेवढे नाही करता या मदीं ब्लँक दवरूं नाका सो हांव विनंती करता आमी शब्दांनी स्वागत करपाचें काम आसा हे आमचे स्पीकर आता सगळ्या तेजे पयलीं ऑफिशियली जे आमच्या हितून भितर कितें आशिल्लें
मिनिस्टर जावलेकर बाब तुमची खुर्ची आहे का
मिनिस्टर फुडें येवन बसत ओके ओके
मिनिस्टर ना गव्हर्नमेंट नॉट देयर
आयचो दीस
गव्हर्नमेंट शुड बी
या सगळ्या स्पीकरांच्या विनंतीक मान देऊन सुदीप बाब ढवळीकरांन फुडें येवचें आयज सगळ्यांच्या कडल्यानूच तुका डिमांड आसा
there should be government no government there
या
until CM come he can be there
आयचो सूर्योदयूच एक वेगळ्या पद्धतीचो उगवल्लो आसा खुबश्यो गजाली आयच्या दिसां भितर नवीन नवीन जाता आमचे बाय संगीता परब जेन्ना आयल्यो तेन्नाच तिणें थंयचे मागून पळोवन सांगलें की हे फर्स्ट टायम आपूण हांगासर फील करता म्हणून सो आमी हांगासर येता ते उमेदी खातीर आनंदा खातीर आनी आमचे कितें प्रश्न आसात ते हांगासर सोडोवपा खातीर सो ह्या लेजिस्लेचर फोरमाच्या दिसा परत एकदा हांव सगळ्यांक तुमचें स्वागत करता आनी स्पीकर बाब हांकां विनंती करता की आमचे जे ऑफिशियली आसा ते पयलीं आमी हें करया आणि मागीर सगळ्यांचे स्वागत करूया
सगळ्यांक नमस्कार ह्या विधानसभेच्या काही वरिष्ठ वांगड्यांक आयज आमकां याद जाता जे आतां आमचे मदीं ना त्यांनी गोंयच्या लोकांक आनी ह्या सभागृहाक जायती वर्सां सेवा दिली तांच्या वावराक आनी समर्पणाक सदांच मान मेळटलो आपल्याचें नांव आसता लेट श्री परशुराम कोटकर passed away on 18th January 2025. Late Sri Lavu Mamlekar passed away on 15th February 2025. Late Sri Ravi Naik passed away on 14th October 2025. त्यांच्या सन्मानात हांव सगळ्यांक उबे रावन एक मिनिट शांतता पाळया अशी विनंती करता. Thank you. सगळ्यांनी येवकार माननीय मुख्यमंत्री थोडेसे बिझी असले कारणान जसे आमचे सेक्रेटरी सांगले प्रोग्रामाच्या त्याप्रमाणे थोडंसं उशीर आमचे विरोधी पक्ष पुढारी बाब युवी आलेमाम विधिमंडळ पंचायतचे माननीय वांगडी आमचे विक्टर बाब आमचो मोहन आणि त्याच्या पयलीं तुमकां सांगपा लागून हांव एकच तुझा सांगता की आमचे चीफ स्पीकर आयच्या ह्या कार्यक्रमाचे पद्मश्री डॉक्टर J.M. व्यास त्यांचे बद्दल सगळी माहिती असा. डॉक्टर J.M. व्यासाची वळख आणि प्रोफाईल हे नंतर तुमकां आमचे पंचायतच्या वांगडी सदांजली दाखवून दाखयतले. दर वर्सा आयच्या दिसा म्हणल्यार 9 जानेवारी आमी हो दीस मनयता. त्या निमतान म्हाका दिसता की म्हाजें हांव सौभाग्य समजता की तुमच्या सगळ्यांचो योगदान करपाक. ह्या दिसाक आमच्या राज्याचे लोकशाही प्रवासाक खूब म्हत्व आसा. सगळ्यांक खबर आसा आमकां की 1964 म्हणल्यार 1964 ह्या तारखेक गोंय विधानसभेची औपचारीक उक्तावण जालें. सगळ्यांक खबर आसा की तेचे पयलीं 20 डिसेंबराक 1963 गोंयचें पयलें इलेक्शन जाल्लें आनी मुक्ती उपरांत शासनाची सुरवात 9 जानेवारी 1964 जाली. आमकां हो दीस जो पळय आसा तो लोकशायेचो राखणदार म्हणून पळोवंक दिता. विधानसभा सुरवाती सावन गोंयांत लोकशायेचे देऊळ म्हणून उबी रावले. हांगाच आमच्या लोकांच्या आवाजाक अभिव्यक्ती मेळटा. विंगड विंगड मतां एकठांय येतात आनी आमच्या राज्याच्या कल्याणा खातीर निर्णय घेतात. दशकां सावन ह्या सभागृहांत उमेदीन भरिल्ले वादविवाद, गोवरपाचे कायदे आनी सामुहीक यत्न पळयल्यार जांणी गोंयची प्रगती घडोवन हाडल्या. ह्या वंटी भितर पास जाल्ले दरेक सत्र, दरेक चर्चा आनी दरेक थाराव आमच्या लोकशाय संस्थांच्या दायजांत भर घालता. ह्या दिसा आमी ह्या सभेची बुन्याद घालपाचे दृश्टीन आमी समर्पिततायेन श्रद्धांजली अर्पण करतात. गोंयच्या स्थापनेच्या वर्सांनी मार्गदर्शन करपाची जापसालदारकी सांबाळपी पयली विधानसभेच्या आमदारांक आमी उपकार मानून याद करतात. लोकशायेच्या मुल्यां प्रती त्यांची वचनबद्धता आनी नव्यान मुक्त जाल्ल्या राज्या खातीर धोरण तयार करपाचें ताचें धाडस एक आमकां प्रेरणेचो स्रोत आसा. गोंयच्या आमदारांचो मंच जांचो म्हाका अध्यक्ष म्हणून काम करपाचो भोवमान आसा तो एक आगळोच उपक्रम आसा जो सेवा करपी आनी आदल्या आमदारांक एकठांय हाडपी लोकप्रतिनिधीच्या पिळग्यांचेर संवाद, एकताय आनी सातत्य वाडोवपी हो एक व्यासपीठ आसा. ह्या मंचार बी आमी अनुभव वांटून घेतात, कल्पनांची देवाण घेवाण करपाक शिकतात आनी लोकांच्या सयत आमकां एकवट करपी पंद घटमूट करतात. बुद्धी आनी तरणाटेपणाची उर्जे मेळोवपी सुवातेर आनी गोंयच्या समान बऱ्या खातीर वेगवेगळे विचार एकठांय येवपी सुवात मंच वाडटलो पळोवपाक खोस जाता. आमी गोवा विधिमंडळ दीस मनयतना ह्या संस्थेचो वांटो जावन घेवपी जापसालदारकीचे विचार करता. गोंयचे लोक आमचे वटेन फक्त कायदे आनी धोरणां करपा खातीर न्हय तर फुडारपण, अखंडताय आनी नदर हेचे खातीर पळयतात. ह्या सभागृहाची प्रतिश्ठा तिगोवन धरप, आदर आनी जापसालदारकी घेवन वागप आनी आमचे वाद विवाद आनी निर्णय आमच्या नागरिकांच्या आकांक्षाक प्रतिबिंबीत करतात हाची खात्री करप हें आमचें कर्तव्य आसा. लोकशायेच्या मुल्या प्रती आमची वचनबद्धता परतून उक्तावपाची हो दीस एक संद आसा. लोकशाय म्हळ्यार फक्त भोवमत, सत्ते विशीं न्हय, ती संवाद, समावेशकताय आनी वेगवेगळ्या मतांचो आदर करपाक विशीं आसा. दरेक आवाज आयकूंक येता आनी दरेक हुस्को पयस जाता हाची खात्री करप. आमदार म्हणून आमी ही मूल्य घटमूट करपा खातीर आनी फुडले पिळगेक दिवपाचो यत्न करपाक जाय. तेच तरेन गोंयची वळख राखपाक आमी आमच्या पर्यावरणाची राखण करपाक एकतायेची गरज आसा, जाचे वरवीं आमच्या तरणाट्यांचो फुडार घटमूट करपाची हमी मेळटा. निमणे सुवातेर हांव उत्सवात परत एक फावट तुमचे दर एकाचे काळजांतल्यान तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार दिता. हो दीस आमकां आमच्या राज्याची आनी आमच्या राष्ट्राची व्याख्या करपी लोकशायेचो आदर्श मुखार व्हरपाक प्रेरणा दिवचो. लोकशायेच्या भावनेक गिरेस्त सर्वसमावेशक आनी खरें आशिल्लें गोंय बांदपा खातीर आमी पक्षाच्या मर्यादे पलीकडेन आनी वैयक्तीक मतभेदा पलीकडेन मेळून काम करूया. जय हिंद, जय गोवा.
सगळ्यांचे स्पीकर साहेबान उतरां स्वागत केल्लें आसा. आमच्या हितून सुद्दां उपस्थित आसा तितून भितर काही मानादीक आसात त्यांचो खरो उल्लेख करपाक जाय. हायकोर्टाचे रिटायर्ड जज आसात, त्याच भायर आमचे सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर बाब एडवर्ड बाब आसात आनी खूब सिनियर लोक सगळे जे आसा. आमचे ह्या विधानसभेचे सुद्दां मिनिस्टर, एक्स मिनिस्टर आनी मानादीक कितलेशे जे आसात त्यांचो उल्लेख करपाक जाय असो खरें म्हणजे त्यांच्या सगळ्यांचे परत एकदा हांव स्वागत करता. व्यासपीठाचेर जे आसात बसलेले तांच्या उतरांनी स्वागत जालां, पूण फुलांनी स्वागत करया आमी. आमच्या हितून भितर आयज खरें म्हणजे जे गेस्ट स्पीकर आसात तेच खऱ्या अर्थान आयज आमच्या ह्या फंक्शनाचे हे आसात. आमच्या स्पीकरान तांकां मुद्दाम आपयले आसात तेन्ना स्पीकरांच्याय पयलीं आमी तांकां फुलां भेटोवया. सो आमचे पद्मश्री डॉक्टर जे.एम. व्यासजी हांकां फुलां भेटयतात आमचे बाय फेरेल फुरता. आमचे सभापती जावन आसा विधानसभेचे आनी फोरमाचे अध्यक्ष तांकां फुलां भेटयता बाब धर्मा चोडणकर, आमचे कमिटीचे मेंबर. विरोधी पक्ष नेते बाब युरी आलेमो हांकां आमचे फुलां भेटयतात राजेश पाटणेकर, माजी सभापती. लेजिस्लेचर फोरमाचे उपाध्यक्ष बाब विक्टर गोन्साल्वीस हांकां फुलां भेटयतात बाब शंभूभाऊ बांदेकर. आता फेलिसिटेशन आणि प्लेट हा सीएम टिकीट करपाचे. ओके 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 ओके. सो हो जो आयटम आसा तो मातसो आतां आमी फुडें दवरुया. सीएम आयल्या उपरांत आमी करपाचे सगळे फेलिसिटेशनच्या संदर्भांत भितर. ताच्या नंतर गेल्या वर्सभरान भितर जे कितें कार्यक्रम जाले थोडक्यान भितर ते हांव तुमच्या मुखार दवरतां. गेल्या वर्साक आमच्यो वर्सभरान भितर 3 मॅनेजिंग कमिटीच्यो मिटिंगो जाल्यो. 16 ऑक्टोबर, 16 डिसेंबर आणि 5 जानेवारी. ह्या हितून भितर डिसिजन घेतलें की अंदू जी स्टुडंट पार्लमेंट कॉम्पिटिशन आसा ती आतां जावपाची आसा म्हणून. तेंचे दर वर्साक ओरिएंटेशन आसता. त्या ओरिएंटेशनान भितर आमी 23 कॉलेजीस पार्टिसिपेट जाल्ल्यो. जेंचे प्रोफेसर जावं हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट अशें जे आयिल्ले तांचे ओरिएंटेशन आमी 18 नोव्हेंबराक घेतलें. आणि ताच्या नंतर केन्ना ती हे घेवची पार्लमेंट हे बी ह्या संदर्भात भितर डिस्कशन जालें आणि नंतर आयिल्ल्या स्टुडंटांक आणि प्रोफेसरांक एक आमी हांगासर व्हिडिओचे हे दवरता आमी तांकां ओरिएंटेशन ते आमी 18 डिसेंबराक घेतलें तितून 30 पार्टिसिपेंट्स जाल्ले आणि 36 स्टुडंट्स भितर आयिल्ले. सो तांचे कशा पद्दतीन आमचे लेजिस्लेचर हे परफॉर्म करचे जावं कितें हे सगळें आमकां ते दिसा सांगलें. तेंच्यो क्वेरीज ज्यो आशिल्ल्यो तांकां आमचे सदानंद बाब मळीक, विक्टर गोन्साल्वीस आणि आमी तांकां एड्रेस केले. सो अशा पद्दतीची ही आतां फुडें विधानसभेचे डेट्स आणि तांचे एग्जाम डेट्स पळोवन ती केन्ना स्टुडंट्स पार्लमेंट मॉक पार्लमेंट जातली ते आमी आतां ठरयतले. ताच्या नंतर गेल्या वर्सा एक स्टडी टूर आमी केरळाक केल्लो आणि केरळा भितर त्या स्टडी टुरान भितर 31 मार्च टू 5 एप्रील अशा पद्दतीन स्टडी टूर केलो. थंय आमच्या विधानसभेचे माजी सभापती म्हणया आणि एक्स MLA बाब राजेंद्र आर्लेकर हे ऑनरेबल थंय गव्हर्नर आसा तेंच्यांनी आमचे सगळे वेलकम केलें आणि रात्री डिस्कशनाक आणि डिनराक आमकां आपयले. सगळे जाण आमी तितून पार्टिसिपेट जाल्ले. त्या हितून त्यांनी गोंयांत भितर आमकां कितें करपाक जाता तर आयुर्वेदीक टुरिझम इन गोवा हे तुमी स्टार्ट करचे अशें सजेस्ट केलें. त्याच बरोबर फ्रेश वॉटर फिश फार्मिंग हे आमी इकॉनॉमी सुदारपाच्या दृश्टिकोनांतल्यान एक करचें अशें त्यांनी सुचयलें. आणि थंय तेंच्यांनी एक मुवमेंट केल्लो आसा की अगेन्स्ट ड्रग्स यूथ जे आसात ते सगळे आतां ड्रग्सच्या आहारान चल्लेले आसा आणि ताका लागून भारताचे भवितव्य हे खूब हितून आसा, अंधारान आसा. सो तांकां अवेर करचे हाच्या खातीर त्यांनी थंय जागृती केल्ली आसा आणि ताजी त्यांनी म्हायती दिली. आणि गोंयांतूय अशा पद्दतीच्या गव्हर्मेंटान आणि लेजिस्लेचर फोरमान भितर सगळ्यांनी ते पार्टिसिपेट जावन हो मुवमेंट करचो अशें आमकां त्यांनी सुचयलें. ताच्या नंतर आमी थंयची कमिटी जी आसा त्या कमिटीन आमी डिस्कशन केलें. तर वर्किंग चेअरमॅन थंयचे PM माथाय वसले, ट्रेजरर AN राजन, त्याच्यानंतर व्हाईस चेअरमॅन युनिक्रेन किलाय, नंतर चेअरमॅन चंद्रन आणि सेक्रेटरी जॉन असे सगळे जाण आशिल्ले. तांच्या वांगडा आमी थंयचे कितें कशें चलता लेजिस्लेचर फोरम हाचे संबंधीचे डिस्कशन केलें आणि आमचे कशें चलता आमी हांगा कशें रजिस्ट्रेशन केलां, सगळ्यांनी इन्वॉल्व कशें केल्या, MP, एक्स MP, MLA, एक्स MLA असो सगळ्यांचो फोरम कसो केला हे तांकां सगळी म्हायती दिली. ते सगळे आयकून थंयचे जे स्पीकर असले AN शमीर हे खूब खुश जाले आणि तांणी आमच्या ह्या सगळ्या कामकाजाची आणि आमचे जे चल्लेले आसा गोवा लेजिस्लेचर फोरम तांची तोखणाय केली. सो अशा प्रकारचे थंय स्पीकरा वांगडा थंयच्यान वेगळे डिस्कशन, वेगळे त्यांच्या वांगडा जेवण बी अशें आणि त्यांच्या फोरमाचे संबंधीचे वेगळे डिस्कशन हे आमी थंय केलें आणि परते आमी गोंयांत भितर आयले. सो हो इतलो गेल्या वर्साचो नियाळ आसलो. हांव फुडें वता आसतना आतां आमचो ट्रेजरर बाब सदानंद मळीक आतां विनंती करता की फायनान्शियल स्टेटमेंट जो आसा तो तेणें हांगा प्रेजेंट करचो.
Honorable Speaker, Ganesh Gamper, the guest speaker, Padma Sri Vyas, Dr. Vyas, Honorable Leader of Opposition, Mr. V.V. Aremo, my colleague in forum, Vice President of the forum, Mr. Victor Goan, Secretary, Mr. Mohan Amsekar, in the audience, Honorable Minister Sudhir Dhawadekar, former Chief Minister of Goa, Mr. Luis Solero, former Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, Sajay Vedero, former Union Minister, Sri Edward Falero, in the audience, former ministers, former MLAs, present MLAs, and ladies and gentlemen. We are following a procedure because on 9th of January, we are plugging this function along with the general meet of the members of the forum, and therefore we have to make a presentation of the annual statement of accounts for the forum for the financial year ending 31st March 2025. The members are already having the financial statements in their hand, resident payment account, income and expenditure account, and the balance sheet. If you want, I have to read it. I will read it, or if you want just me to do the glimpses of it, I can do it. So I think I should read it. The opening balance of the cash that we had in the beginning of the year was 11,628 rupees. We got a contribution from the government, rupees 10 lakh. On the interest on that, rupees 3,769. So the total receipts came to 10,15,397. And the payments were made in this way. The legislators' day expenses were 3,48,473. Meeting fees were 1,10,000. Postage 2,000. Mementos 1,97,600. Refreshment 30,466. Audit fees 5,900. Miscellaneous expenses 1,032. Tools and travels 2,72,893. And the balance in hand 47,032. That makes the total of the resident payment as 10,15,397. Going to the income and expenditure account, where we take only the expenditure or income of the current year. We do not take the expenditure which is not paid for the current year and that will be paid in the future, that is outstanding expenditure. Or we also do not take here into consideration what was outstanding in the previous year that has been paid in this particular year. So therefore, there can be differences in the figures of receipt and payment and the figures that are shown in the income and expenditure account. So as far as the income is concerned, as I already observed in the receipt and payment account, it is 10 lakhs contribution from the government of Goa. Interest on the bank account is 3,769. Now expenditure for the current year are refreshment 26,946, meeting fees 68,000, audit fees 5,900, miscellaneous expenses 1,032, mementos 1,97,600, legislators day expenses 2,32,548, postage 2,000, tools and travels 2,72,893, and the excess of income over the expenditure is 1,96,849. Coming to the balance sheet, the purpose fund was on the liability side 5,560. There are sundry creditors who are to be paid. That comes to total 1,31,900. I think I should do the breakup to you. The breakup is legislators' day expenses are outstanding for rupees 1,05,000. Meeting fees are outstanding rupees 21,000, and audit fees, because which comes normally after the accounts are completed, so always it remains as outstanding 5,900. So total comes to 1,31,900. As far as the other account there is, it looks like a overdrawn account. It is not actually so. The State Bank of India, 1,20,534. This is the amount that is to be appropriated. If you see on the asset side, you will also get the same figure. Because here some checks were issued and they were not realized. So that is why. Yes.
Malikwa, this is audited and signed by the speaker and
Yeah.
the respective office bearer.
Yeah.
It is the internal matter of the forum.
Yeah.
It is recorded now. I think we should take it as read. Because it's
I don't
recorded
know.
by the press.
I don't know.
So
What
let
it
us
is.
not make it a public issue. Let us make it an internal issue for the forum.
Okay, no, I don't
And let
know.
us consider it read. Because it is signed by the auditor,
Yes.
by the honorable chairman who is the speaker and by you. So let us not waste time on this opportunity.
Okay. Okay.
Since legislator they celebrate करता है क्या organize other income काहीच ना
हाँ.
only interest, bank interest rate has 769, very meager. And government contribution only 10 lakh. It has to be made double.
Yes.
This is my suggestion.
Everybody's.
Note down the point. Speaker, it is for the speaker to take up the matter.
And same as
Speaker and government is also here.
Good
And
suggestion.
on behalf of the government, Honorable Minister is here.
Minister.
He will communicate to the Chief Minister.
Yeah,
The feeling of the House.
My dear friend, the
Yeah.
matter is before the House. The House has to decide and send it, and the Speaker will do the next.
If some still get it
It's not
wrong,
in the hands of the Speaker only.
Yeah.
The House has to pass. This
Yes.
is a legislative body.
Yes.
People are forgetting.
yes.
And these are the mandatory things which you have to do it. You have to pass them all.
See, now there is a
So you
proposal.
put it a proposal. That proposal is also.
Yes, you say, you second it, you second it, and I will say unanimously accepted.
Correct.
And Speaker should take up the matter.
Yeah.
पुढे वा.
So, so,
Extra activities करा तुम्ही मागे.
Yeah.
yeah, that will be done. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me.
Propose आणि प्रकाश गणित seconded.
अरे I have proposed.
Okay, propose.
Whatever.
You have saved our time now.
Yeah, thank you for saving the time. Now,
Give that time for open session.
yeah, that will be better.
So now I will request address by आमचे माननीय विधानसभेचे leader of the opposition बाब युरी आले मग हय हे सगळ्यांक खबर आहा की आमचे गोंयचे धडाडीचे युवा नेते तेंगेले आमी वेगळी वळख करून दिवपाची गरज ना त्यांच्या कामांतल्यानच आमकां ती वळख दिता आणि आयज आमकां ती त्यांच्या भाशणांतल्यान मेळटली हांव रिक्वेस्ट करता बाब युरी आले
हांगा माचयेर बसून आशिल्ले आमचे गोंय राज्याचे सभापती डॉक्टर गणेश बाब गांवकर आयच्या दिसाचे स्पेशल गेस्ट स्पीकर पद्मश्री डॉक्टर जे.एम. व्यास तशेंच माचयेर बसून आशिल्ले बाब विक्टर गोन्साल्वीस मोहन बाब आमशेकर सदानंद बाब मळीक हांगा आमचे मंत्री बाब सुधीर ढवळीकर आदले केंद्र मंत्री बाब एडवर्ड फालेरो आदले गोंयचे मुखेलमंत्री बाब लुईझीन फालेरो आमचे आदले चीफ जस्टिस आमचे कुंकोळचे आदले आमदार बाब फेतीन रिबेलो आणि सगळे आमदार आमचे कलीग तशेंच एक्स-एम.ए. आनीक मोगाळ पत्रकार भावंदो भयणींनो आपुरबायच्या भुरग्यांनो पयले सुवातेर हांव जे दोन उतरां तुमच्या मुखार सांगतलो म्हाका दिसता इट इज ऑलवेज अन ऑनर एंड प्रिविलेज टू अड्रेस दीस फोरम टू अड्रेस अ फोरम ऑफ lawmakers, people's choices. तशेंच हांव गोवा लेजिस्लेटर्साच्या फोरमाक देव बरें करूं म्हणटा आमकां एक ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी दिली म्हणून आनीक सुरवातेक तुमकां सगळ्यांक न्यू इयराची परबीं हांव येता. माय डियर कलिग्स, जेन्ना तुमचे मुखार उलयता 9 जानेवारी 2023 पयलेच दिसा तुमचे मुखार हांव जेन्ना उलयल्लो आनीक त्या वेळार 3 क्रिटिकल इश्यू तुमचे मुखार आमी मांडलेले. खास करून आमचे माणकुलें गोंय सांबाळपाक तुमचे इंटरव्हेन्शन, जेन्ना हांव इंटरव्हेन्शन म्हणटा पॉझिटिव्ह आनी इफेक्टिव्ह इंटरव्हेन्शन एज स्टेट्समॅन was required then is still required now. पयले सुवातेर जो इश्यू त्या वेळार आमी घेतलोलो तो म्हणटाय तो म्हादयचो our lifeline, the way it is compromised, the way today our future, आमचे गोंयचे फुडार ज्या पद्धतीन आज म्हादईचो इश्यू जावं आमचे हिंगा बाय निर्मला सावंत आसा, दुसरे इतले लेजिस्लेटर आसा. नाव एंड देन वी स्पीक इन दी असेंब्ली, बट हुंय ना हुंय आमी म्हाका दिसता चुकताय, फाटी आसा. Whether Madai is sold, whether the DPR will be withdrawn is a big question mark. Right from day one, when we were legislators, we have been debating, but it is the same state of affairs. Today, Goa's rivers are almost polluted. 50% of them are polluted. They are unsafe even to bathe. Forget about fishing. And we believe that some people are trying to fish in troubled waters. दुसरो मुद्दो जो त्या वेळार आमी घेतलेलो तो म्हणटाय तो कसिनोचो. एक सीन पॅराडायज आमचे जे कॅपिटल आहा, इट इज ऑलमोस्ट taken and seized and painted Panjim, our capital city, into a sin city, or I should say into a gambling hub. I regret to say that both these issues continue and nobody seems to care. तिसरो इश्यू 2023 याच फोरमाच्यान आम्ही जो मांडलेलो इज अबाउट द रेकलेस सेल ऑफ लँड, रेकलेस सेल ऑफ गोवा थ्रू कन्वर्जन्स, थ्रू वेरियस सेक्शन्स, जावं 16B, जावं 17(2), जावं 39A. Reckless wholesale of Goa that started by diluting the powers of 17A that were bought in the house to protect our Mankhule going. Today, as legislators, I bring these issues again in front of this forum. I am flagging these issues once again before you all. My dear colleagues, I recollect on 9 January 2024, या दिसाक दोन major issues. That Goa, that was known to be liberal, the growing threats to the freedom of choice and expression, that we are protected under our constitution. Today, we see the vitals of free, liberal and independent democratic society. Somewhere these are all under threat. The government seems to be silent on these threats. For whom? At that time I had used the word non-state actors. Anik म्हाका दिसता ह्या सरकारान तसेच the feeling of the state is that unofficial आणि जे private policing जाता, this has the approval of the state and the government. तिसरो इश्यू 9 जानेवारी 2024 आम्ही रेज केलेलो about defections. This issue that is shaking the confidence of Goankars and shaking the confidence of parliamentary democracy. Petitions that were filed before the speaker, with due respect to the honorable speaker, these are still to be decided on. Whether this will be decided after our term ends or whether they will be decided at all is a big question mark. And these defections are basically engineered. Goa is not new to defections, but these are being engineered. Who is the producer? Who is the director? Who are the actors? No matter what, these are profits. Defections are profits in terms of money and power. 9 जानेवारी 2025 गेल्या वर्साक, with due respect to the Honorable Speaker, I shared at that time the functioning of the apex democratic body, that is the Goa Legislative Assembly. Maka disla, the way the number of days are being curtailed, the day debates are not allowed in the House. These are concerns we as legislators are being paid a salary from public money so that we can legislate laws, so that we can highlight people's issues. But with every passing year, this is my observation, at least till the last term of the speaker, that the neutrality of the speaker was somehow questionable. I am saying this with due honor and respect to all. The speaker is the custodian of the house. खरेंच आज खुशालकाय दिसली जेन्ना सुरवातेक जेन्ना आमी येले, आमचे बाब गणेश बाब गांवकारान जो आमचो सभापती आहा, रूल बुक बरे भाशेन बायंड करून आमकां दिलो. आनीक म्हाका दिसता की speakers cannot be active participants of political parties. They have to be custodians of this house. आणि म्हाका खात्री आहा की आमचे सभापती ओमान राखतलो म्हणून. आज बावदो काळजांतल्यान उलयता, कित्याक म्हाका दिसता you all are senior legislators. You all have so much experience. And it is so much to learn from whatever you all have done and your contribution in this house. It is not only about socializing. It is about discussing the issues of the state and the legislature. Anik amche jenna inga senior legislator asa, I think we should debate on critical issues constructively. Last time several suggestions that were taken up from this forum, they were not discussed. I believe at the start आमचे सभापतीन सांगला की जे इशू हिंगा आमी एज लेजिस्लेटर्स रेज करतले तेजेर तो सारको कारवाई करतलो. आमकां एक आशा आहा, आज जी प्रथा एज लेजिस्लेटर्स म्हणून आमी फॉलो करपाक जाय, ती म्हाका दिसता खरेंच आमचे डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम आणि आमचे इन्स्टिट्यूट इम्प्रोवाइज करपाक तुमचे आदारान खूप खूप गरजेचे आसा. आज जेन्ना तुमचे मुखार उलयता, हाऊ कॅन वी अवॉइड अ रेफरन्स टू दी बर्च आरपोरा ट्रेजेडी, a tragedy or a man-made disaster, deaths or murder is something that we all as legislators, as ex-legislators need to debate. Should we dispense this only as an accident, or is this the complete failure of law and order in the state of Goa? In Goa today, it seems like there is no law and order. There seems to be only land and order. This is the state of Goa today. National media, jenna 6 तारखे डिसेंबराचेर jenna ही episode जाले, 25 people lost their lives, innocent people, for no fault of theirs. National media जाले गोंयांत हफ्ताराज म्हणून. आज म्हाका दिसता आमची सेफ्टी ओ टुरिझम ओ जे टुरिस्ट हिंगा हाडटा गोंयांत सेफ आहा काय कितें, हेचो प्रश्न म्हाका दिसता आमचो एक निर्माण जाता. आनी मेन मुद्दो म्हणटा तो, सम पीपल आर मेड स्केपगोट्स. इट माइट बी देयर फॉल्ट as panchayat secretaries, as sarpanch, but who takes the moral political responsibility? of 25 deaths. These were innocent lives for no fault of theirs. No one in the government seems to want to take the responsibility. There seems to be only passing the buck. So as ex-legislators, म्हाका दिसता जेन्ना आमी प्रयत्न केलो की ह्या मुद्द्याचेर एक डिस्कशन जावपाक जाय ऑन द सेफ्टी, त्या वेळार सरकारान एक माध्यम काढलो की गव्हर्नर एड्रेसा फाटल्यान डिस्कशन जातले वंदे मातरमाचेर ऑन आवर नॅशनल सॉंग. We wanted a discussion in the house, but what we get is a divergent tactic. At this hour, I take a special mention to mention a proud Kumkodkar, someone who the people of Goa and who has taken the lead, Justice Firdinbab Ribeiro. एक लोकांक एकठांय करपाक, he has made it very clear that this is not a political movement. He has given a call to all the political parties, main म्हणटाय ते गोंयकारांक. आनीक आज लोकांमध्ये जी क्रोध आसा, लोकांमध्ये जो एंगर आसा, this anger to save our identity, to save our demography, खूप गरजेचे. आमचे माणकुले गोंय सांबाळपाक एक पीपल्स चार्टर म्हणून तो गोंयकार मध्ये आयिल्लो आसा. आनी म्हाका दिसता आमचे कर्तव्य जाला एज लेजिस्लेटर्स, एज एक्स लेजिस्लेटर्स, टू डिबेट ऑन दिस सब्जेक्ट, especially when it comes to Goa's destruction of Goa's forest environment. Few of the highlights that have been mentioned of scrapping of this 17(2)39A that is not in the interest of the state. गोंयची कॅरिंग कॅपॅसिटी जावपाक जाय म्हणून 2 वर्सां जाली आमी डिबेट करता. मुखेलमंत्री सांगता जातली म्हणून, केन्ना जातली? जेन्ना दिल्लीचे वर्मानी शर्मा हिंगा सिटीजन जातले. आज साधारण गोंयकारांक उदक ना, रस्ते सारखे नाही, लायटीचो प्रॉब्लेम आसा. वयता थिंगा मेगा प्रोजेक्ट. अरे गोंयकारांक जोरीतोर हे प्रोजेक्ट नाका. आमी गोंयकारां लागून हिंगा जोरीतोर झगडटा जाल्यार गोंयची कॅरिंग कॅपॅसिटी कित्याक डिफायन जायना? It is a very, very serious issue today that we Goans are facing. No more hill cutting. It is shameful for me to say that despite assurances in the last assembly about hill cutting, more than 1,200 official complaints, but the 17A section has been diluted. No one has been persecuted, no action. Even when legislative affairs or MLA elected members write to this ministry, it's absolutely shameful. Today, Bhavando Vinido, जे मांडोवीन जे हे कसिनोचे जे करप्शन, गॅमलिंग हे वचपाकूच जाय. मागीर थोडे म्हणटाले मांडोवीन काण खंय घालपाचें? ओरात गोंयचे भायर. गोंयांत नाका, लँडाचेर नाका. आज डियर फ्रेंड्स एंड लेजिस्लेटर्स, म्हाका दिसता we should be responsive, sensitive, and the call. Forget our political parties and our ideologies, but this has to be done for our future generation. Anik, I expect the Honorable Chief Minister, who is not present today, जेन्ना हे representation तेका दिले, दिवपाची गरज ना म्हणला. लोकांक जाय ते करतलो म्हणून म्हणलें. Now it is for us as legislators using this forum to act as a pressure group on this government to make sure that whatever needs to be protected for our future generations needs to be done. Laws need to be bought. Ordinances needs to be moved to make sure that we as legislators truly behave as lawmakers, not lawbreakers. भाव म्हणिलो अनेक वेळी हांव देव बरें करूं म्हणटा जेन्ना आयच्या दिसाक म्हजो डॅडी बाब जोकी मालेमाव ह्या गोवा लेजिस्लेटर्स फोरमान फेलिसिटेट करपाचो एक विचार गेलो. He could not come personally, but I believe and I thank the forum from the bottom of my heart. It is truly emotional. And remembering as a young boy, there are several people within the audience today or as legislators. Now, Dr. Radharao Gracious, my Feral Bab Furtar. At that time in 1999, I was young, I was about 12 or 13 years old. These were pillars and instrumental in getting Bab Jyoti Malemaw at that time against 14 cabinet ministers. That was not a very easy election in 1999. So he asked me to personally make a reference to all of you all, after which he was a cabinet minister under Bab Luizin Falero as tourism minister, after which he worked under Pratap Singh Rane and Digambar Bab Kamath for giving him the opportunity to work under your guidance. I would like to thank you all. Anik म्हाका दिसता की as legislators today, Goa needs your, as ex-legislators, your guidance is required to save whatever is left for posterity. Anik yes म्हणून आमकां दिसता सुरवातेकूय हें जावपाक जाय आशिल्लें, but I feel that as legislators, as politicians, and towards humanism, I request that all of us stand in 1 minute silence for the 25 deaths that were lost. So I request all of you, if you all could stand in silence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind, Jai Goan.
Thank you, Bab Jyoti Malemaw. तुमचे अभ्यासपूर्ण जी स्पीच आसा ती आमकां सगळ्यांक मार्गदर्शन करपा खातीर. कार्यक्रम मुखार व्हरचे पयलीं हांव आमच्या सभागृहांत जे पयलींचे फोरमाचे सेक्रेटरी बाब हेरकुलाम दोरादो हे उपस्थित आसात. त्याच बरोबर आमचे वेळांत वेळ काडून हांगासर आयिल्ले मिनिस्टर, PWD मिनिस्टर आणि माजी मुख्यमंत्री गोंयचे बाब दिगंबर कामत हेय बी आमच्या भितर उपस्थित आसात. त्याच बरोबर पार्टीचे कितलेशेच काम आसतना सुद्दां हांगासर भारतीय जनता पार्टीचे अध्यक्ष आणि माजी आमदार बाब दामूबाब नाईक हे उपस्थित आसा. माजी खासदार आमचे विनयबाब तेंडुलकर हे उपस्थित आसात. इतलें हांव सांगता आणि आमचे जे गेस्ट स्पीकर आसात तांचो डिटेल परिचय करून दिवपा खातीर हांव सदानंद बाब मणिक हांकां हांगासर आपयता.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Leader of Opposition, honorable guest speaker, other dignitaries on the days of the days, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rare honor to introduce Padma Shri Dr. Goan, a nationally revered authority and institution builder in forensic science. Dr. Vyas was conferred the Padma Shri in the year 2022 on the occasion of 73rd Republic Day of India. This prestigious civilian honor was awarded to him for his extraordinary and distinguished contribution to the field of science and engineering, particularly in forensic sciences. The Padma Shri recognizes his lifelong service in strengthening India's criminal justice and investigative system through science-driven leadership. Dr. Vyas is the founder, Vice Chancellor of the National Forensic Sciences University, an institution of national importance under the Government of India. He also serves as the officiating Vice Chancellor of Goan University, reflecting the continued confidence of the Indian government in his leadership. With over 52 years of uninterrupted public service, he is the senior most serving forensic scientist in the country. He is the visionary behind establishing the world's first and the only university dedicated exclusively to the forensic sciences. Under his guidance, the forensic education ecosystem today supports the thousands of students across specialized and emerging disciplines. Dr. Vyas has led a large-scale capacity building, training tens of thousands of officers from India and numerous countries in the worldwide. In mission mode, he has spearheaded the creation of multiple campuses across India and international campus abroad. His leadership has resulted in centers of excellence and specialized schools spanning web, digital and behavioral forensics. At the international level, Dr. Goan Vyas has been unanimously appointed for a second term as the Vice President of the International Association of Police Academies. At the national level, he has served as a trusted expert and advisor to the CBI, the Parliament of India, and the key national policy bodies on the matter of forensic science and criminal justice. His career uniquely blends science, governance, education, national service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Padma Shri Dr. Goan Vyas, whose life work has left a lasting imprint on India's forensic and justice system. Dr. Goan Vyas.
Honorable Speaker of Goa Assembly, Dr. Goan, Honorable Vice President of the Forum, Honorable Leader of Opposition, Sri Modi, Honorable Secretary, other dignitaries sitting on the dais, ex-members of the Legislative Assembly and the present members of the Legislative Assembly and friends. It is indeed an honor for me to be amongst you all today and this very important forum where all the legislators present in the Ex meet, discuss the issues which are related to the public mainly,
and submit the recommendations to the government for implementation. So we are all lawmakers, as was mentioned. They are also the representatives of the public, and whatever are the issues of the public, normally you deal with that, which requires a good amount of strength and a sense to understand the issues of the public and properly present them before the government for implementation. And one of the issues which is concerned with the public, which is important also, is crime. And crime is an area where we also become victim of this kind of crimes which are taking place. And it definitely affects the law and order of the state, and law and order is anyway state subject. So every state government has a mechanism of handling this law and order situation. There is a police force, then there is a prosecution department, there is a judicial department also, and there is a forensic department, and these are the departments, even a jail. So this we call the departments of criminal justice delivery system. So this criminal justice delivery system is a very important system of the country, and ultimately it decides the criminal justice delivery to the public, for the public, for the entire country. And the same situation is there across the globe. So we normally say that the forensic science is also a part of the public, this judicial criminal justice delivery system, with police, prosecution, jail, etc. So just to give some idea, I don't want to go into the details, but basically the science is applied in the investigation of crime. And now the crimes are becoming sophisticated, we all know. We know the digital arrest taking place, people losing money. The way in which digital devices are used now. If we don't properly use them, we also become victim of such crimes. So a lot of awareness is required. Because for our own safety and security, we need to be aware as to how to properly use our own system, which we are using, our mobiles, our computers, and whatever other devices we are using. So the crimes pattern are changing, and crimes have become more sophisticated. In earlier days, we used to use sword, knife, etc. for killing a person. Now, persons are killed digitally, virtually, using some kind of digital systems. So things are changing. So the pattern of crime is changing. More sophistication has come, and therefore more demand, more requirement of technical or forensic experts in handling such investigations. And therefore, the importance of this subject is increasing. But then we don't have a sufficient number of experts to deal with this kind of scenario. So when Narendra Modi ji was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he came to know about this important requirement of the country and the world, that we don't have a good number of experts. We don't have even an institution where police officers, judges, prosecutors and others could be trained. And then this is an area which requires a huge amount of research, because the pattern of crimes are changing. You need to come out with newer and newer technology in handling such kind of challenging investigations. That was also a requirement. So there was a requirement of creation of experts, proper imparting training, and also research in this kind of investigations. So looking to this, he got an idea that we should have a forensic university. And he called me and told me that let us establish this kind of university. And when I checked it, this university was not available anywhere in the world. So I went back because I was handling the forensic department of Gujarat state. And I went back and told him this institution is not available anywhere in the world. And how can we open a university? And he said, let us take lead. Let us become leaders in the world. And not only India, we will help the entire world. You establish the university and we will support you. So he asked me to establish the university. This was done in 2009. I took up the charge. I was the first vice chancellor of this unique university, which was the only university in the world. And after a gap of 16, 17 years, many countries tried to establish similar institution, but it has not come up so far. So we are still the number one and the only university in the world as far as the investigation of crime and security related aspects are concerned. So it is a matter of pride for the country. And then when he went to Government of India as Prime Minister, he could see the importance of this in a big way throughout the world. And then this university was upgraded and was made a National Forensic Science University in the year 2020. So, and then again, my appointment was made as the first Vice Chancellor of National Forensic Science University. So this is how this area is given more importance now, and every country, when we started this university, we had 72 students and 3-4 faculty. Today we have around 10,000 students here studying in various campuses of the university, and one of them is in Goa. We also have a campus in Goa where we have, I visited the Goa campus yesterday. We have around 400 students who are studying, and some of them have come from different countries. So 15 countries students are studying in Goa and learning the investigation of crime, and most of them are police officers. So this is a matter of pride for even Goa, that Goa has this institution which is creating and producing experts who are required for investigation of complex crimes. Because no country was able to do this, this university was made or given the status of institution of national importance. Therefore, you can establish your campus anywhere in the country and outside the country. So 14 campuses in India and 1 campus has been established in Uganda. And many countries are now requesting us that you open our campus. So we may open few more campuses in the times to come outside India. But government is planning to see that every state has 1 campus. So the need of such experts in every state can be met with. So this is the concept of this university, and we are dealing with very sophisticated level, right from basic forensics, where into digital forensics, where digital crimes are taking place, as I mentioned, and we are also dealing with cyber security, because how to manage the security, these kind of experts are required, not only in government, even in private setup. All power stations you see in the country, all railway stations, airports, hospitals, they are run, we call them critical infrastructures. The critical infrastructures of this country are run through internet, through computer, through digital devices. They need to be protected. And you must have seen many times hospitals get attacked and all activities of the hospitals become standstill. So you need an expert who can handle this kind of attacks, nullify the attack, give some antidote of the viruses, and then put everything in a functional mode. So this is what is the requirement. So we are creating cyber security experts in a big way, and they are going not only in the country, but they are going outside the country also. One of our experts is working with Emirates Airlines. He is handling the cyber security of Emirates Airlines. He is based in Dubai, and many students have gone outside India also. So this is what the requirement is, and looking to this requirement, the credit goes to anyway Narendra Modi, because it was his vision, his concept that India should be leaders in this kind of activity and give experts not only to the country but the entire world. And as representatives of the public, you all have many responsibilities, and I was just thinking here when I was listening to the talks, this is the only area, or this is the only community, public representative community, which faces exam every 3 years, every 5 years. Either you get victory or you get defeat. So every 5 years you have to go to the public and face victory or the defeat. So victory and defeat has become part of our life. And then how can we take victory, how can we take defeat, and how to digest both is very important. So, in a psychological way, in psychology we call it a success. When we get victory, we feel that we are successful. We got a success. And we get a defeat, I treat myself as a failure. So in psychology, it is explained in a beautiful way. Success and failure, they are my own interpretations. It is individual's decision as to what can I do, treat, or how can I define success and which way I define failure. It cannot be quantified, because when an example is given, a student who was a routine level of student and getting 50-55% in the exam was good for that boy. This is fine. And that was the average marks he was getting. So in 12th standard, this fellow got 60% mark. So it was a big success for him. It was a huge success. He was anticipating 50-55%, got 60% marks. It's a success for him. And the other student who used to get 95-97% marks got 90% is a failure for him. So 60% is a success and 90% is a failure, or 90% is a success, 60% is a... There is no such standard. It is my own interpretation. I was expecting this, I did not get, I treated it as a failure. I was expecting this much, got more, I consider this as success. So this is my own interpretation, which is normally subjective in nature. One more area I would like to touch upon is subjectivity and objectivity. That should be there in our life. We should be more and more objective as even public representatives. Objectivity in our life is very important. In every area, even in the judiciary, subjectivity should be minimum, objectivity should be maximum. And how do you define subjectivity and objectivity? So normally I give an example. I had a chest pain and I went to a doctor, a cardiologist, who had started his practice maybe 2 years ago, a newcomer in the city of Goa. He takes my ECG, and after taking ECG, he interprets that ECG as ischemia, less supply of blood to the heart. And he says, you have ischemia, this chest pain is a serious problem, you should rest for 3 months. And he gave me all kinds of medicines. You take these medicines for 3 months, don't go to office, and you take rest. So I was disturbed. When I went home, some of my friends came and told me what has happened. I mentioned this problem. He said, why don't you consult a very senior cardiologist here? Take a second opinion. And I went to a second cardiologist, and he interprets the same thing the same way. He says, yes, your ECG is correct, you have got ischemia, your heart is not getting sufficient amount of blood. But what is your age? I said, I am 75 years old. He said, ischemia is very common. At this age, no person will get 100% blood in the heart. So you need not worry, it's not a disease. It's a routine process, aging effect. No medicine is required, no rest is required. You start attending office from tomorrow. Now, I don't say the other doctor was wrong. I don't say this person is right, but it is an interpretation which is based on my personal expertise. So whenever I interpret something based on my personal expertise, personal perception, that decision I call subjective. So the opinion given by both the doctors in judicial way, you call it as a subjective opinion, which has less amount of acceptability or acceptance. Because it is subjective in nature, it is based on my personal perception. And the second example which I normally give to even judges, there is an apple. I give example of, there are many things, but I give example of an apple. This apple has got a black dot. I show it to one person. How do you treat this apple? Now the person has very high standards of defining the quality of apple. He says this apple is rotten. This is a black dot, is not acceptable. This apple is rotten. The same apple is sold to other person. He has some flexible ideas of deciding the quality of apple. And so he says, even when the apple is cultivated, due to friction, etc., some black dots come. They don't make the apple rotten. So according to me, this apple is not rotten. Now, both the individuals have, you can't force anyone. You can't, he says, as per my opinion, this is a rotten apple. The other fellow says it's not rotten. Because this is an opinion given by a person based on personal perception. So this opinion about deciding the quality of apple is subjective in nature. But then what is objective? Objective is apple has got international standards. Apple should have so much of vitamins. It will have so much of starch, so much of protein, vitamin D3, etc., so much of fibers. The skin of the apple will have so much of thickness, and if you burn the entire apple, it will get converted into ashes, and the concentration of ashes will not be more than this. And if this apple, which was there with me, which sold to both the persons, if it meets those international standards, I call the apple a good quality apple. If it doesn't meet even one characteristic which has been mentioned in the international standards, I call this apple a rotten apple. So now this opinion is not based on my personal perception. Then my idea, I am giving the opinion based on what has been mentioned internationally. It is, if the data meets those requirements, I call it non-rotten. If some of the requirements are not meeting, I call the apple rotten. So when you make your opinion based on certain principles, that opinion is known as objective opinion. If you give an opinion based on your personal idea, personal expertise, that opinion is taken as subjective. So in our all day-to-day activities, whatever decisions we make should be based on the principles rather than the subjective. So more the subject, less the subjectivity, more the objectivity, more near you are the truth. And 100% objectivity means 100% truth. If you are 100% objective, you are with the truth. One judge asked me this question: how much should be the objectivity in the life? It should be 100%. If you want 100% truth, it has to be 100%. And that subjectivity is there in all our fields, whether it is Vidhan Sabha, whether it is judiciary, whether it is police department, there will be subjectivity. So therefore, you have right from smallest court up to Supreme Court. Why? Smallest judge would have been able to give the opinion, but it could be subjective. Then you go to Sessions Court, the opinion could be subjective. You go to High Court, still there is a chance it could be subjective, because some single judge gave a judgment. You go to a double judge bench in High Court, still there is a chance of subjectivity. You go to Supreme Court, single judge, there is a subjectivity. Then if the matter is very, very sensitive, which requires the attention of the entire country, very sensitive issue, you have 7 judges bench, even 11 judges bench. Why? You don't want subjectivity at all. It has to be totally an objective opinion. So involve more number of people. So therefore, whenever we take decisions, we see that we take a decision based on the objective matter which is placed before me. And there is no doubt of any subjectivity which is involved in my judgment. Any decision I take. Even when you are an administrator and in office, when the file is put up before you and there are some allegations on somebody that he has committed this kind of errors, it should be dismissed. Try to see, this is a subjective opinion. Try to see, how are you proving this? What are the evidences against this fellow? Are these evidences good in nature? Are they meeting the international standards of deciding whether the person is an accused or not? And if they are meeting, you say yes, initiate action. If you are not able to do, then you say form a committee and take action. This is what is being done. Now postmortem is normally taken as a subjective opinion. Whatever doctors give opinion after postmortem, normally they are treated as subjective. I give you one example. And many a time in custodial deaths, when the person dies in custody, there are allegations against police that he was beaten in the jail, in the custody. Because of this, the fellow died. Now, when somebody is beaten, there are some marks on the body. We call them ecchymoses. Ecchymoses are the marks on the body. After death also, you can check ecchymoses. So when ecchymoses is checked, there are a color of this ecchymoses which decides the time of death. So if that is blackish red, if that color is blackish red, the death is within 6 hours. And if it is reddish black, it is beyond 6 hours. Now, and that is very critical. The person came in police station within 6 hours. That means he was beaten in the police station, and therefore the ecchymoses marks have come. If the person it was before the 6 hours, that means the person was not in the custody, somebody else has beaten him, because of which the reddish black mark has come. How do you decide black is red and red is black? It's very difficult. So the doctors give an opinion regarding this, would be subjective in nature, because you are determining this color based on your own perception, could be subjective. And therefore, now when it is a very sensitive case, there are allegations against police, a very high level of person was beaten, there was a death in custody, the judge will order a committee of 3 doctors, 5 doctors to check that ecchymoses color, whether it is really reddish black or black is red, and then the decision is taken. Even in case of burning, within 7 years of marriage, some lady dies, then postmortem is to be performed. And there are all kind of allegations. One doctor performing the postmortem may be wrong, etc. So now the government has, to make it more objective, has come out with certain guidelines. In such cases, a panel of 3 doctors will perform postmortem. And postmortem will not done under this light. It will be done under sunlight. So there is no misinterpretation of color. Because if you do it this light, the color will be different. If you go and do it in sunlight, you may see a different color. And the entire process of postmortem will be videographed. And 3 doctors panel will do this. Why? You don't want subjectivity. You want objectivity. So this is a principle we should keep in the mind. We should be as objective as possible in our day-to-day life also. Whenever such issue we face, we should try to see that by involving more number of people, by involving some experts, can we get some better opinion than what we were thinking. Even in case of, as I said, heart attack kind of a chest pain, etc. Even in case of medical science, you should consult 1, 2, 3 doctors, maybe a panel of doctors if you are facing a serious problem. So this is the importance of subjectivity and objectivity in our life, and that is nothing but the science. So science gives you more objectivity, and no science, no objectivity. That also is said. And therefore, forensic science, being a science, the opinions given by forensic experts are always objective in nature, and therefore they are more acceptable in the court of law. So this is what the department we are handling, and I am sure this, whenever you come across some kind of a suspicious death, some kind of a suspicious crime, some complicated crime, you are most welcome. You can contact any one of us, and I am sure you will be getting the objective opinion which is more acceptable. So thank you very much. I am thankful to Honorable Speaker for giving me this opportunity. He is a person, I am really surprised. He came to my home, he came to my office, and I was sick that day. He said, but I want to meet Vice Chancellor. I would like to go to his home. So he telephoned me, are you okay? Can you discuss something? Then I can come to your home. He came to my home. He extended this invitation that you have to come and address this forum, and very important forum. And I said, okay, I will definitely come. So I am thankful to him for giving this opportunity, and wishing you all the best. Wishing you all very happy 2026 and all my best wishes. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Padmashri Dr. J.M. Vyasji. यांच्यानी आमकां एक इन्फॉर्मेटिव्ह बऱ्या पद्धतीची, कित्याक आजी माझे आमदार सगळ्यांकूच पोलीस स्टेशनात सदांच वचचें पडटा, आनी क्रायम्स जे आसा ते आमकांय फ्रेश फेस करचे पडटा. हितूंतली खुबशी नॉलेज तेंच्यांनी आमकां दिली, तेज्या बद्दल हांव तांकां खूब धन्यवाद दिता. आनी आतां स्पिकरांच्या परवानगीन हांव म्हणटा आमी ओपन फोरमाक पयलीं वचुया आनी मागीर फेलिसिटेशन करुया. एक 5 मिनटां भितर आमचे सीएम हांगासर पावतले असो तेंचो मेसेज आसा. सो हांव विनंती करता स्पिकराक की तांणी थंय बेल दवरलेली आसा मार्शलान. पयली बेल जाली की स्पिकर आसा तांणी वॉर्निंग बेल, आनी दुसरी बेल जाली की स्टॉप करपाचें, जो हांगासर उलयताले न्ही. सो हे असेंब्लीन भितर तुमचे जाता तेच पद्दतीन. सो हांगा काही नांवां आसा ती आमकां घेवपाक हरकत ना, की कोण कोण पयलीं उलयतले त्या प्रमाण तेंची नांवां घेवया. शंभूभाऊ बांदेकर, तू कमिटीन आसता गो? बरें, नांवां घेवया. येस, राधाराव,
जॉन फर्नांडीस,
आमचो
जॉन फर्नांडीस,
जॉन
Allow the lady to speak.
Yes,
Allow the lady first.
member of the advocate Fatima Sai. पाच मिनिटं.
मानाची सभापती डॉक्टर गावकर, मानाची लीडर ऑपोजिशन मगदुरी आलेमाव, आमच्या मंचाचे सगळे पदाधिकारी, आवर्जून उपस्थित राहिले आमचे सार्वजनिक बांधकाम मंत्री बाप दिगंबर कामत, वीज मंत्री बापूजी ढवळेकर, जस्टिस गेलो आणि सगळे आजी माझे आमदार खासदार हा फक्त 2.5 मिनिटाच्या भीतर मांडतात. नंबर 1, आमचे या पवित्र सभागृहाचे माजी आमदार निष्णात वकील आणि अलाहाबाद हायकोर्टाचे जज म्हणून रिटायर झाले मानाचे फेसबुक बाबी बोललो, यांनी एक लोक चळवळ निर्माण केली आणि त्याचा इतको प्रतिसाद मिळालो की सांगपाची गरज ना. आणि मुख्य म्हणजे त्याची जी बेस असा लोक चळवळीची 10 कलमी कार्यक्रमाची ही राजकीय नाही, या राजकीय व्यासपीठ नाही आणि राजकीय व्यासपीठ नसताना सुद्धा काही राजकीय कार्यकर्ते नेते तिथे हजर रावले, त्यांना मेळ्ळेली आणि ही तुमचा 10 कलमी कार्यक्रम हा अत्यंत उपयुक्त असा आणि तो फुडें व्हरपाक जाय अशें तांकां सांगले. तांकां पाठिंबो दिवपाक हांव हांगा त्या उबो आसा. मुख्य म्हणजे माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्यान काही प्रसाद सांगले की बाप फेर्जीन रिबेलोन ज्यो काही सूचना केल्या त्यो आपूण लोकांक विश्वासान घेवन करतलो म्हणून एक प्रकारची सकारात्मक पवित्र आसा हो पॉझिटिव्ह. म्हणटकूच कितें आहा ही लोक चळवळ ही शेवटी आज आमचे गोवा विकासाच्या नावाखाली विध्वंसाकडे खंय पावला ते आमी पळयतात. मागीर ते जमीन हडप प्रकरणां जावं, बेकायदेशीर बांधकामां जावं, कॅसिनो जावं किंवा इतर अनेक गोष्टी जावं, ह्यो सगळ्यो विध्वंसाकडे वळटात. आणि जर आमकां खऱ्या अर्थान आमचे गोंयकारपण हांगाची संस्कृती टिकोवपाक जाय जाल्यार प्रत्येक मनशान बाबा रिबेलोन पळय काम केलां त्या 10 कलमी ताका पाठिंबो दिवपाक जाय. आणि हांवूय तांकां पाठिंबो दिता. त्या दिसा म्हज्या प्रकृती म्हणजे हांव फक्त हजर रावूंक शकलो ना. एक गोष्ट म्हत्वाची की आमच्या राजकीय परंपरा आसा ती एक पक्ष सोडून दुसऱ्या पक्षान रिबेल वचपाची, पण हे 30 जाण आमकां जे रिबेलो मेळ्ळ्या त्या खरे गोंयचे गोंयकार चड. उदाहरणार्थ जिलिओ रिबेलो गेला, डॉक्टर ऑस्कर रिबेलो गेला आणि बाप फेर्जीन रिबेलो गेला. ह्या रिबेलोनी ह्या रिबेलांक जागान बसून खरी लोकपरंपरा कितें, खरे लोकांची भूमिका कितें आणि खरे लोक चळवळीचे हेतू कितें दाखोवन दिल्लो आसा तो पूर्ण करपा खातीर म्हाजो तांचो पाठिंबो आसता गृहीत धरता आणि मुख्यमंत्र्याचे सकारात्मक विचार करची हांव विनंती करता. दुसरी गोष्ट एकूच म्हणजे बाप आले मग विरोधी पक्ष हो विषय काढलेलो मुख्यमंत्र्यांकडे येईल की जो आमच्या गोंयचो जनमत कौल ओपिनियन पोल तो राज्य पातळीचेर सारको साजरो जावचो म्हणून. खरें आज आमचे जर खरें गोंयकारपण टिकला जायत जाल्यार त्या मुळे टिकला तेन्ना तेचेरूय सरकार गंभीरपणे विचार करतो, माननीय सभापतींनी विचार करतो आणि हो सारमोत जो गोंयच्या लोकांक आपल्या गोंयकार काळ टिकोवपाक गोंयची संस्कृती दिवपाक त्याला त्याच्या सरकारान गरजेने विचार करता हें सांगून हांव तुमकां थँक्यू धन्यवाद.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Leader of Opposition, other dignitaries on the days of the desk. I just want to cover one topic, that is about sports. And we have seen India excelling in sports under the BJP government in the center, with India getting lot of medals, and especially in hockey, where we have won the bronze twice. But I don't know what is happening in the state and the state government's attitude towards sports. I head the Goan Hockey Association, and along with me, all the associations of the states are suffering under this Goa government. We have been participating in 6 events, all the categories, junior, sub-junior, senior, men and women, and from the year 2023, our funds of all the associations are not clear. We have a backlog of 26 lakhs pending with this government under SCG, not only my associations, but all the associations. So this is a very serious issue. Why? Because sports is deteriorating in Goa. Modi government has given Fit India, but here it is becoming Down India. Sportsmanship is drowning in Goa. Why? Second point, the players are supposed to get TADA. So from 2023, the TADA of the players have not been given, and therefore the players are not motivated to come to play, and therefore the various activities in sports are deteriorating, and that is why it's giving rise to other bad, the youth energy is channelized in other things like drugs, drinking and other sports, other things. If this energy is channelized in sports, it would be very good. So I request the government to release all the money, and I feel that the money is not properly discussed, because as a teacher I know in education department I went and I have seen that in education department the teachers are getting per child 30,000. If I have 2 children, I am going to get 60,000. If I have 3 children, I get 90,000. I am saying, why to waste this money over the teachers when education is free in the school? Our teachers are not paying for education, plus the salary of the teachers are very high. But the government is not channelizing this money properly. It is going to education department where it is not necessary. Teachers are paid high, their children are not paying fees. But this money is given to teachers. I am not against teachers, but you are depriving the state associations by saying there is no money, there is no finance, and keeping our money pending for so many years. Another shocking thing is that our associations are training players to play for Goa. See, Speaker sir, very important issue, leader of opposition, and we are given a bill of 8 lakhs to pay SHG for usage of ground in Pede. So, if you want players to participate at national level, otherwise Goa will be empty, Goa will not be represented. So, we take our players, participate, practice at Pede ground, and we are sent a bill of 8 lakhs for the usage of the ground. So, how is sports going to improve in Goa? How are we going to go ahead? This is my only suggestion to the government, and especially to CM here, to see into this matter. Very important sports.
Honorable Speaker, sir.
Not till like 28 next time.
Doctor,
आमगे पोस्ट करता आमगे पोस्ट घन को
विजय बांगडी आणि
legislative government member, Bhavani Bani. I have to compliment Dr. Vyas. First I thought what Dr. Vyas is doing among the legislators. I asked in the canteen, why we should hear him? But it was so interesting. And I am happy that he has a campus in Goa. Because Goa needs your campus. Because Goa has become a sin city in the country. And we have to be blamed for that. Because we have littered the casino, which I brought it for the 5-star hotel out in the sea. Last year I spoke on casino, but I was blacked out by the media. And I don't mind speaking again, because even for Zimbabwe, I want to give you the background of this casino. How they are illegal. Because the casinos on River Mandovi are not offshore casinos. They are backwater casinos. Offshore has not been defined in the casino laws in Goa. When you don't define that law, then it falls on the law in the statutes, which is the Mercantile Shipping Act and the Shipping Act of India. It has been defined. And where is that offshore? Offshore is the deep sea. 12 nautical miles from the boundary of India and international waters. And you have to have a shipping controller's license. And none of these ships are worth for deep sea fishing. They are in the river Mandovi backward. So they are not offshore. This is the first legality, that they are illegal. Second thing, you cannot do gambling in the streets. The casinos were brought in Goa on one premise. Even I argued with the President of India, I was told to approach him. Because I was encouraged to bring this to Goa, because Goa is the fifth destination, and they were brought only for 5-star hotel. In Gujarat we have prohibition. But when you go to the 5-star hotel, you can drink liquor. So there is an exception to the rule. On that premises, I brought casino to Goa because I was member of the Central Committee of Tourism and Civil Aviation. And you can enter the casino in the hotel only by showing a room key, hotel room key. What has been done here, we have destroyed in Goa. And therefore I call this, that we have made Goa into a sin city in the country. We cannot live in Goa, we cannot live in Panjim, I live in Panjim, we cannot, drive a car in Panjim or ride a scooter. Lawlessness. A reporter, press reporter who happens to be the ruling party spokesperson, he mentioned that this so-called nightclubs, they give a revenue of 250 crores kickbacks. How much casinos will be giving, I don't know. So it is high time, and I compliment Ribelubab again. And when Mr. Shambhubab said that Ribelos are very much in vogue, I was trying to change my penance into Ribelo, because I am allowed to change my name. Government brought that amendment. So all non-Goans are coming and becoming Goanese by changing this name. And I had told Speaker to stop this, because this was being done to get the Portuguese passport. Because when they are Hari Chandra, they become John Fernandez. And you will find John Fernandez in Putua when I am here in India. So we have to take all these precautions now in Goa. It is high time for you to take up. And I am about to discuss with Mr. Ribelo lot of legal matters as to how we should go about. I am in touch with him on the WhatsApp. I will make him stay at Donapavana. So, second thing, Mr. Speaker, हांवें सांगलेलें फाटले 2-3 मिटिंगे जेन्ना आमची फोरम मिटींग जाता इट इज नॉट अ गेट टुगेदर and it is not forum for just opportunity making speech and going home. This was happening in the parliament also until I landed in parliament. And I said that every committee has to give a reply for the next meeting, action taken report. Instead of reading the financial statement here by Mr. Malik, we have to read the action taken report. Because financial statement is vetted by the auditor and the office bearer, we have no objection. It is not a huge amount. So I hope that in future at least, Speaker, if you take the initiative and see that every meeting Last year, the action taken report is to be recited, and I have stopped Mr. Malik so that we should get the time. But most of the time was taken by leader of the opposition, Mr. Yun. So I hope when assembly starts, you give him more time to put his views on the record, because here the views are not going on the record. No, record on the order, not that, it is not being put into record. because दुसरे कितें एकूच सजेशन देतो कित्याक आमी पार्लमेंटान गेलो तेंकां सांगता तुमकां in parliament we have the consultative committee. When the government cannot consult the people directly, they consult the parliamentary committees. They are called the consultative committees, and I am told they are not in Goa. But the relevant minister, concerned minister preside, and then they consult the public through the parliament MPs. Muslim committee हिंगाना म्हाका दिसता हे फोरमाची एक कमिटी करपाची. आमी MP आसूंक दी, ex MP आसूंक दी, MLA आसूंक दी, MLA आसूंक दी. So this committee can know the issue and feed the government on it. For example, small suggestion I am going to give. पणजेन आतां आमी स्मार्ट सिटी केल्या. 1000 कोटी आयल्या PMन घातला. Electric buses घातल्या आमी. I happen to be on the RTA when we started Kadamba, Road Transport Authority. हे दोन रूट आम्ही नॅशनलाइज केले पणजे मडगांव पणजे बस ओनली कदंबा कॅन फ्लाय because you cannot have unhealthy competition between government and the private because there will be accidents because this will be races between private and the government buses. So Panjim also, as we have electric buses and it is advertised on the FM radio, Dr. Sawan brought it, Dr. Sawan did it, good, you did it. But put it in order by having only these buses. And those are the buses which are pollutant buses. You put it away in some other villages or some places where there are no buses. So this is my kind suggestion.
Very good.
With permission of Honorable Speaker, my friend Mr. John Fernandez made a point regarding the casinos about the offshore. I add to your information that you have given because I was in the house when that bill was passed in 1997. Honorable Louisian father was the industrial minister at that time in 1997. And when the debate was going on this bill, I at that time on the boat, tourist boat, Cavalera something, was passing from there in that complex, whole complex. And it was so loud music was there that it was disturbing. So I got up in between. I was talking at that time. I was speaking at that time on the bill. I said, see the situation. Now here the assembly proceedings are going on and the loud music is there nearby. What will happen if the casinos are planted here? So Honorable Chief Minister at that time, Mr. Rane rose up on his seat and said, Mr. Malik, you are mistaken. This is an offshore casino. And offshore means away from the shore. It is a shore, 5 nautical miles away from the seashore. That is what he said. So it will not be here nearby. It will be very far away from here. And I was surprised to see that these casinos are housed there. I went for the debates, but unfortunately I couldn't find that sentence there. Because actually whatever that is said by a minister or the chief minister in the house, in the intervention, that is showing the intention of the house in passing the law, and that on the basis of that the judgment can be given by the court, and Honorable Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, can put a light on that, whether the decision can be given on the basis of the debate, intention of the house, when it is not clear. Please. Thank you.
Offshore offshore was inserted through an ordinance which was not approved by the cabinet but passed by the circulation. I have all the reports. Because that is a fraud.
Yes, just.
माननीय अध्यक्ष संविधानात स्पीकर म्हणजे अध्यक्ष नॉट वर्ल्ड कंट्री अध्यक्ष कोंकणीत भारताच्या संविधानात अध्यक्ष म्हणतात विधानसभेचो अध्यक्ष. And this, Dr. Vyas, I was not aware that you were campus over here. Hopefully we can train our judges also. हांव आज हांगा उबो आसा to speak on one issue. There are various issues involved, but time is short, and Speaker will give me some additional time if I exceed. Because it involves our rights. The final question which I am asking myself and asking everybody is, why are we MLAs? Why are we elected? We are elected for doing good, for developing the state, not for developing ourselves. That's the first thing that we must know. When we make laws, we have to find out how does it benefit the Goan people. The laws must be to help and ensure that Goa's natural resources, Goa's environment, Goa's land is protected and is used for the Goan people. I am addressing yourself today on one issue which I have raised in my 10th charter, and that is hill cutting. Section 17A of the Town and Country Planning Act was introduced during the time of Mr. Pratap Singh Rani. The objects and reasons clause says that indiscriminate cutting of hills causing destruction of ecology, a very commendable step. And the chief town planner would grant the permissions. But when such a provision is there, it does not mean that the chief town planner can so much exercise jurisdiction. Act has a provision to make rules. And the Town and Country Planning Act has section 140. Now, if you want the town planner to exercise rules, you have to make rules under the section 140 of the Town and Country Planning Act. Without the rules, the chief town planner cannot act. 2, there are cases if the rules are not made. The Supreme Court has said yes, the executive power of the state, which is written 154 and 166 of the Constitution of India, can be exercised in rare cases. But this has to be exercised in the name of the governor by a notification. But Goan Kizala, when this act came into force, in the year 2000, somebody set out what are known as guidelines. Guidelines that the first time it was said that hills up to 25% gradient and above cannot be cut. Now this is not law. In 2010, 2010, there is what is known as explanatory statement issued, which clearly sets out that these contours, CONTOUR of the mountain, which are as you calculate the height of the mountain, will be based on the Survey General's topography map, topo map, in no uncertain terms. So therefore, the maps of the Survey General of India, which are the official maps of the Government of India, were being followed for the purpose of calculating if it was about 25%. This went on for a long time. Now this is also not legal because there are no rules for bringing 25% or not. Then comes 2023. All of a sudden, something called an order of circular is issued, not known to the public, not notified. The Surveyor General's maps are given a go by, and private architects are submitting the so-called counter plans. Now the Surveyor General's counter plans are being amended by private architects' reports. And there is a massive, and as one of the speakers that he said, counters are being changed and somebody accepts them easily. And the result has been people of Sankwal are fighting. Those counters, they have been changed because of private architect, not based on the Surveyor General's counters, has submitted the plans. Now I am raising two issues over here. When you make rules, those rules have to be presented to the House. The House has not approved the rules, but the House can look into the rules and make amendments if necessary. Though you cannot have the committee or the board of town planning make any directions contrary to the main section. There are no rules. In law, we call it the doctrine of ultra-virus. Ultra-virus, this is contrary to the law and has to be set aside. देखो आज गोवा की चलते हैं, what is happening today in Goa is totally illegal. And I met the Chief Minister and I मुख्यमंत्री विचारले ये डेव्हलपमेंट ये हिल कटिंग जे आसा न्ही पयली हे जागे जे बांदतात तुम्ही are they for the Goan people? ये गोंयकारांक जाय काय मा? If they are not required for the Goan people, why are our hills being cut? These hills are not the property, they may be the property of a person, but they are the natural resources belonging to the people. And these natural resources cannot be depleted, cannot be cut, because they are important in various contexts. They are important in the context of climatic change. They are important in the context of groundwater. Now these bungalows which are going to come up from the hills, which you have agreed to, one, what will you get from it? You will collect some money for development. Every year you may get a house tax. How does Goa benefit? On the contrary, तुम्ही घर बांधता म्हणजे you have to provide electricity. आमच्या लोकांना electricity ना. हिंग घर बांधता तुम्ही आणि स्विमिंग पूल बांधता. आमच्या लोकांना उदक ना. You are giving them water supply. सारखे रस्ते ना, infrastructure ना. The sewage tanks will result in seepage of this into groundwater, and now circles down their wells are going to get spoiled. So for whom is this development? For now. And why is it required? We are 15 lakh of people or so. There is still space for expansion. So why are we destroying the hills? And what, unfortunately, I don't know what happened. The 2011 memorandum clearly set out the slope analysis of the hill is based on the counter data, that is, which is obtained from the maps prepared by the Surveyor of India. So there is no doubt whatsoever. Mr. Chief Minister, welcome. I am only expanding on what I discussed with you yesterday. I have been telling the House and everybody over here that once an act is made, provisions of that act can only be given effect by making rules. The provisions of the act can't be given effect without making rules. In rare cases, the executive power of the state can be exercised, but that has to be in the name of the governor and not otherwise. Was of 2023 saw circular Dwasa, which allows rampant destruction of our hills, must go and cannot be allowed to stand for one more day. Because it is causing rampant damage to our heritage, to our culture, to our environment. I mean, kitli sochto. How long are we going to tolerate the destruction of Goa at the hands of lawmakers? We were also elected, we were once upon a time, you all were elected, so some of us still are. We are here to protect the identity of the Goan people. Why did we fight for a state? Why did our freedom fighters fight for Goa to be a part of the Indian Union? They fought for it so that we become out of Portuguese colonialism and be a part of Mother India. Why did we fight for a Konkani state? We fought for a Konkani state because Konkani Lokar ke Zag identified Goa as the land of the Konkani people. So what are we doing to this land of ours? Amchi Goan took me 150 garas, you allowing 100 plots, you are changing the demography of the state. How can this go on? Somebody must answer. Who is responsible for this? Rampaging conversion of land by changing the laws. I don't want to go into that issue today because I said I am sticking myself to the issue of only cutting of hills. There must be, Chief Minister, as I said to you, this has to stop. First, that circular has to go. And second, why should we allow our hills to be populated? Don't we have sufficient land to have it for our people? We have. And what will we leave for our future generations? How will we answer them? The hills which you, Rana Mandal in the month of summer months, Kanda, Kazdu, all of our children used to go down there, enjoy it. It was intact, and suddenly everywhere around, some money bags come around, and things are changed. This can't go on. Goa must be redeemed. As I said that day, this Goa is worth fighting for. And if we are together, we shall fight for it. And the Chief Minister was also with us in this. Because we are not taking a cause which is partisan. We are not taking a cause which is politically controversial. What we are taking up causes are the causes of the Goan people. And the first and foremost cause which is there is, in the first instance, withdraw the circular, and thereafter that section 17 2, section 39A, no, section 17A has to be modified, preventing constructions on the hills. Now that section as it stands permits some construction by giving power to the town planner. So that amendment must take place.
It came to an ordinance.
Whatever it is. Secondly, and last, I'll give you one more minute, please, Speaker. In which state in this country are our agricultural lands being allowed to sold to outsiders? In every state, the land revenue codes are amended. Then agricultural lands will not be used for a non-aggressive purpose. And if they are going to be sold, they have to be sold to agriculturists who are resident in Goa. I will not use the word gold. Who are resident in Goa, at least put a time frame. I say 30 years. Somebody may say, okay, not 30 years, put 15 years, 20 years. But no conversion of those agricultural lands into non-agricultural. There is a law passed in 2023 which says paddy fields cannot be converted. But त्याच्या मागे आणि टूसी अनेक असतात, but for. So to कायदेला, but under that law you can go on changing. This can't go on. If you have to protect paddy fields, orchard lands, mango groves, these have to be protected. Let us leave something for the future generations. I'm fully let them know there's something called mango in Goa. Let them know there's something called cashew in Goa. Let us not destroy everything. And just now you like me. See, I am now 76. Okay, fine. As I said, the evening of my life was the time I came to Goa for to enjoy the beauty and I camera today. I brought my camera so I could go around filming the birds and the animals in a forest. So I camera dikha. But okay, fine. I said, let me, after seeing what is happening in Aram Hall, because of Lokache Chavoli that has been called back. So let us, my request to all of those who are here, my request to all those who are present over here, let us work together, let us seek to maintain our lands. Don't make Goans outsiders in their own lands, in their villages. We have to maintain this land, this Goa, as the land of the Kokani people. Thank you, Speaker, for that.
थँक्यू दोतोर. गोंयान गोंयकारां खातीर जाय तुमगेले हेजो आमी सगळ्यांनीच विचार करपाक जाय. आमचे मानाधीक मुख्यमंत्री आमच्या हितून भितर उपस्थित रावल्ले आसा. फुडलो स्पीकर येवचे पयलीं हांव निर्मला ताईक विनंती करता की तांणी सीएमाक बुके दिवचो आणि तांचें स्वागत करचें.
मागे
आज हृदयच्या संबंधान उलयता. आज जे कितें चल्लां ते फाल्यां आमकां उदक आसतलें काय नासतलें असो प्रश्न पडटा. खूब कडेन खेड्यांनी वचत जाल्यार आमकां 2 वरां उदक येता म्हणटात, तर कोण सांगू लागलो की रातची आमकां 3 वरांचेर येता आनी 4 वरांचेर येता. उदक हे गरजेची गजाल आनी ते आमी सांबाळपाक जाय. म्हणून ही म्हादय सांबाळपाची गरज आसा. पळोवपाक अशें दिसता की सरकार आपलें काम करना. इट्स अ लॅटिटायसिकल एटिट्यूड, धरसोडपणा आसा. आमी मागिल्ली की तांणी एरियल सर्वे करची. आमी मागिल्ले आमकां पुलीस प्रोटेक्शन दिवचें. आमी जी सायट आसा कणकुंबीची थंय वता आनी आतां तर अशें जालां तांणी लिफ्ट इरिगेशन केलां मांडुराक. आतां तांणी लिफ्ट इरिगेशन मांडुराक कित्याक केलां? जाल्यार तांकां जमनीचेर ते करपाक परमिशन ना म्हणून. आमची केस कोर्टांत आसा, सुप्रीम कोर्टांत. आज थंय वता, केस बोर्डार येतना सगळे जो लवाजमा आसता ते लवाजमाची भुरावळ अधोगताची घेतली असता ती भुरावळ पडती येता, कोटींनी रुपया खर्च जाता. म्हणटकच ही जी केस आसा शुड बी टेकन टू द लॉजिकल एंड. म्हणजे एक फिक्स टाइम घेवप आणि कंटिन्युअसली त्याची हियरिंग करप आणि ते कंटिन्युअसली हियरिंग करतकच कितें जाता तें जावं. पूण सुप्रीम कोर्टान ताजेर जजमेंट दिवंक जाय. आणि आमचे कडेन जी कमिशन आसा अजूनची ते कमिशन 14/8/18 ताणी अवॉर्ड दिल्ले. आता आमकां कमिशनाची गरज ना. कमिशनान कितें जर बदल करपाचो आसा जाल्यार सुप्रीम कोर्ट करतलो. ह्या कमिशनाक इतको खर्च करचो पडटा. चेअरमॅनाक ताच्या बरोबरचे दुसऱ्या 2 जजांक, तांचे रेसिडेंट्स, तांचे स्टाफ, तांचे व्हेइकल आणि कितकेशेच पर. त्याच प्रमाणे प्रवाह म्हणून ताच्या ऑफिस हांगा करपाचें केला. त्या प्रवाहातूय कितकोसोच खर्च. परत ताजो जो स्टाफ आसा त्या स्टाफाचो खर्च, रावपाचो खर्च, ऑफिसाचो खर्च, व्हेइकलाचो खर्च, ड्रायव्हराचो खर्च आणि कितें कितें हे खर्च आमकां सगळे कित्याक जाय. आता डीपीआर तांणी केला तो विड्रॉ करूंक जाय अशें आमच्या ऑपोजिशन लिडरांनी सांगिल्लें आसा. पूण आमचे कडेन 59 आयडेंटिफायड प्रोजेक्ट आसा. त्या आयडेंटिफायड प्रोजेक्टाचो डीपीआर तयार करून दवरपाचो. म्हणजे आमचे कडेन हे प्रोजेक्ट आसा हे दाखोवपाक मेळटलें म्हणजे तुमी हें उदक भरूंक शकना. गाडगीळ आज आमचे मदीं ना. पूण गाडगिळान वेस्टर्न घाट पळय राखण करपाक जे कितें स्टेप्स घेतिल्ले ते स्टेप्स जर आमी मानून घेतले आसत म्हादय उरतली, टायगर रिझर्वूय जातलो आणि वेस्टर्न घाटीत आसा तसो उरतलो. आता हो वेस्टर्न घाट आमकां कित्याक जाय. मदीं एक रिपोर्ट आयलो एनआयओचो की म्हणून ते उदक जर थंय सांबाळून दवरलें आसत जाल्यार आमच्यांनी वापरूं येता, तांच्यांनी वापरूं येता, तांच्यांनी प्रोजेक्ट करूं येता, आमकां उदक मेळटलें. पूण जर वेस्टर्न घाटाची झाडांच उरलीं ना जाल्यार साऊथ वेस्ट मनसून वारें अडायतलो कोण, अडायतली खंयची झाडां आणि पावस आमकां पडटलो खंयचो. म्हणजे हो विध्वंस जावपाचो आसा. सुषमा स्वराज्यान जेन्ना भागीरथी न्हंयचेर टेहरी डॅम जावपाचो आशिल्लो तेन्ना एक पार्लमेंटान एक श्लोक म्हणिल्लो. दोन वळी याद जाता ती सांगता. अप्रार्थयामी यत्र प्रार्थयेत प्रार्थयामी नाशवंती यत् भवेत याद जायना विध्वंसं मरणं भयं. या सगळ्याचो परिणाम कितें जातलो जाल्यार आमकां विध्वंस, भय आणि मरण स्विकारचें पडटलें. आतां हांव बेगीन कोर्टाची केस जावची कित्याक म्हणटा, बेगीन रिपोर्ट येवचो कित्याक म्हणटा तर म्हादय बचाव अभियानाक एक ऑर्डर मेळिल्ली आशिल्ली. Learned Council for the State of Karnataka says that no construction is going on. हे 2017 सांगता ते in the area in question, that is Kalsa Bhandura project, and that no construction will be carried out. हे assurance दिल्ले आसा ताणी सुप्रीम कोर्टाक. In view of this, nothing further survives in this application which are disposed of accepting the statement of Learned Council for the State of Karnataka. म्हाका 19 वर्सां केन्ना नाम सत्यजायक सांगूनच. आणि जर अशें जालें आसत म्हजी केस इन्फ्रक्शियस जातली, म्हादयची केस भायर पडटली आणि म्हादयची केस भायर पडली जाल्यार ताका कंटेम्प्ट पिटिशन घालपाक मेळचें ना. आता जर ताणें कितेंय केलें आसत, आमी जर लॉजिकल लँडाक आमची केस व्हेली आसत आणि ना म्हणून जालें आणि मागीर ते जर कितेंय करता आसत जाल्यार ह्या ऑर्डरीचेर आमी कंटेम्प्ट पिटिशन घालपाक शकता. पूण हांवूच जर नासलें आसत जाल्यार कंटेम्प्ट पिटिशनूय घालपाक मेळचें ना. म्हणून म्हजो रिक्वेस्ट आसा चीफ मिनिस्टरा कडेन जाता तितके बेगीन करचें की जाणें करून आमकां तें कंटेम्प्ट पिटिशन घालूंक मेळचें. आता विषय आयलो कॅसिनोचो. 1997 एक 5 स्टार हॉटेलाचो मनीस आमच्या बोटीर आयलो आणि आमकां म्हणटालो ही बोट दिया कॅसिनो घालून. हांवें सांगलें नाका बाबा आमकां कॅसिनो, पयशे बरे इतके घरांत येतले पूण ते पापाचे पयशे ते आमकां नाका. जोडून या धन उत्तम व्यवहारे उदास विचारे वेचे तरी म्हणजे असं नसं समजून जाताच
ब्लॅकआउट जातले.
उत्तम व्यवहारे उदास विचारे वेचे तरी असं तितके पैसे आमकां पुरो आणि आमकां हे कॅसिनो नाका. म्हणटकच बाकीच्यांनी जर असो विचार केल्लो बाबा आमकां कॅसिनो नाका म्हणून कॅसिनो जावचो नाशिल्लो आणि कॅसिनो तेन्ना ऑफशोर आशिल्लो. तो सांगतालो हाचेर आमी तुमचे आसा त्या बोटीचे स्लॉट मशीन्स घालता आणि ते आमचो तुमी बोट बांदा. आमी सांगले आमकां नाका. द क्वेश्चन वॉज ओवर. आतां गाडगेर रिपोर्ट हो मातसो इम्प्लिमेंट करपाचो आणि तो केलो जाल्यार आमचे सगळे प्रश्न सोडटले. मागीर म्हादय अभयारण्यातूय आमचो विचार जातलो आणि टायगर रिझर्व जातले. सगळे गोंयचे बरें जातले. देव बरें.
Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Speaker, Professor Vyas, the others on the desk, my friends. I was particularly impressed by the submissions made by Professor Vyas. I am a lawyer, sir, and I was quite happy to note what you have said. And I was not aware that there is a National Forensic University with a campus in Goa. At least it confirms, since it is the only such university in the world, it confirms at least in one aspect we are Vishwa Gurus in a matter of national forensic science. Now, about this section, about the ground value. See, we all know that this section 17, section 39, they are just on paper. In reality, everybody knows, people may not accept it in private, in public, everybody knows that it's a very simple thing. The regional plan is changed to pay and paint. You pay, if you pay, what is green is painted saffron. This is the reality on the plan. Just like the plan, rates are fixed. So therefore, it is a matter of economy for those who are ministers. I would only suggest to the Honorable Chief Minister that as we have done with the PWD earlier, please split the town planning portfolio so that more ministers make more money. Now everybody, only one minister makes. I mean, that is unfair to the other ministers. Now, going into this aspect, you see, it is fashionable for the public to criticize the legislators and the executive. This will be Amdaran and Sarkaran. I've been an MLA also once. But there is a slightly different angle to this. You see, the legislator and executive are not the only authorities in charge in this country. We have a system where we have legislators. The legislators are elected by the people, and we know the process by which most of them are elected. We have MLAs for good, bad, and ugly. And I also know that this is not a problem, planning is not a problem created by the BJP government. The foundations were laid by the previous BJP government and the Congress government, and the BJP is continuing with it. Now, I do not expect the legislature to do anything about it, nor the executive. Now, when in a situation like that, we do have a mechanism that is called the judiciary. You see, when the legislature brings bad legislation, when the government acts unfairly, the judiciary has to intervene. And in this, I will say, our judiciary has failed us. Yes. Totally failed us. Because you cannot sit on technicalities. When the judiciary knows things are going wrong, I will recall Justice Rebello. You see, there was no law in Goa regarding adoptions to Catholics. He passed a judgment, framed rules saying that Catholics can adopt. These are the guidelines until the government frames the law. Then on Land Use Act, there were a lot of problems. There is a judgment by Justice Rebello which has streamlined it. And I am pretty sure that unless the judiciary intervenes, nothing will happen. Because every minister, the town planning is the cow that gives the maximum milk. So therefore, it is important that the judiciary intervene. We have to highlight to the judiciary
that Goa is being destroyed, and unless the judiciary intervenes, nothing much will happen. That is what is my considered opinion. So blaming the legislators will take us nowhere. Whatever the issues raised by Justice Rebel, all of us know, and these have been continuously raised. Only Justice Rebello has now put it in proper framework and highlighted it, and because of his stature, people are talking about it. Otherwise, everybody knows about it. So no one is going to do anything. No elected government is going to change it. Only the judiciary can. And this continuous delay of whatever judicial process, there are sometimes judiciary acts also promptly, but you may have to engage Harish Salve. When Salman Khan was arrested, he was given bail at midnight. Harish Salve appeared, and Harish Salve's sister lives in my neighborhood in Betalbat. You could contact her to get her brother to represent in this mandate. You see, the fact is, no one takes anything seriously now. My request, therefore, to the citizen, please see that this matter could only have a judicial solution. If the court does intervene and says enough is enough, as it was said the other day, then only something good will come out of it. Thank you.
I think problem will be solved if town planning.
Problem will be solved when you keep quiet and don't interfere.
माननीय सभापती, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री आणि हे सगळे फ्रेंड्स, एक अत्यंत महत्वाच्या विषयाचेर आता तुम्ही फेजिनोचे विचार आयकले आणि बरोबर आसा. गोंय आमी राखपा जाय, गोंय फुडली जनरेशना खातीर दवरपा जाय. कसो दवरपा जाय हेजे बी तेणें उतर सांगलें आसा. आनी ह्या गोंयांत सगळ्यांत पयली येवपी कोण आसत जाल्यार ते आमचे एसटी भाव आसात. आज ट्रायबल लोकांचेर खूब अशें अन्याय जाता, खूब अशी चळवळी चलतात आनी ह्यो जमनी राखपाचें पयलीं काम सुद्दां आमच्या ट्रायबल लोकांनी केलां. ताका इंडिजिनस पीपल म्हणटात. फर्स्ट सेटलर आज तेंचे कडेन जमीन आसात म्हणून म्हाका दिसता गोंय थोडेशें ग्रीन दिसता. म्हादईचो इश्यू जाला ना, ते बरेचशे शेताचो विचार आयलो. बाबा फेजून धरून तुमीच एक ऑर्डर पास केल्ली की अग्रिकल्चर लँड कॅनॉट बी यूज फॉर एनी अदर पर्पज, इज निवड टेन्युअर ओनली. पण ते आज तशें मेंटेन जायना. माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्याकडे म्हाका याद केल्लें दिसता, तुम्ही एक डेलिगेशन होम मिनिस्टर घेवन गेल्ले एसटीच्या रिजर्वेशना सकल. आज आमचे सभापती आसात की तांकां बी याद करता की गोंयच्या ट्रायबल लोकांक रिजर्वेशन केन्ना मेळटले. 12% हे पॉप्युलेशन आसा. आमी सेंट्रल गव्हर्मेंटाचें अभिनंदन करता. 13 ऑगस्टाक 2024 हो ऍक्ट जाल्लो आसा. व्हाय इट इज नॉट इम्प्लिमेंटेड? हू हॅज टू इम्प्लिमेंट? आनी ह्या लोकांक केन्ना जास्त न्याय मेळटलो? म्हाका दिसता म्हजें प्रपोजल आसा, बिकॉज आफ्टर लेजिस्लेटिव्ह दिस इज द हायेस्ट फोरम. हांगा आजे आतांचे प्रेसिडेंट, ऑल टायप ऑफ very VIP persons are here. This is the voice of the tribal people, of the 12% of the population. I hope 2027 हे आमचे इलेक्शन ड्यू आसा. Whether these people will get justice in 2027? These people already lost 4 elections. How many more you want? So, there, Chief Minister, विचार करतो आणि 2027 ह्या लोकांचो जो कॉन्स्टिट्युशनल रायट आसा तो मेळून दिवचो. आमी शेतकऱ्यांच्या मुवमेंटांतल्यान आसा. आमी म्हणटात खूब पिकोवपा जाय, खूब पिकोवपा जाय. पण वेदर द फार्मर इज गेटिंग द एम्पल एज पर हीज रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द इनकम, आय से नो. आयज तांकां रस्त्यार बसोवन आपल्या म्हाल विकचो पडटा. दॅट इज बी पॉलिसी. आमची एग्रीकल्चर पॉलिसी केल्ली आसा. बट फार्मर्स आर नॉट getting that much importance. आणि म्हणून जे कोऑपरेटिव्ह जे आसा, आज म्हाका दिसता इन अदर स्टेट्स जे कितें प्रोड्यूस आसा ते गव्हर्मेंट म्हणजे सपोर्ट प्रायस घेवन घेता. पण गोंयांत तशी पॉलिसी ना. ओन्ली हॉर्टिकल्चर जे आसा ते हॉर्टिकल्चर जे आमचे कॉर्पोरेशन ते बाय करता, बट अदर कमोडिटीज से कॅश्यू, कोकोनट आर नॉट परचेज and there is no market. तर तुम्ही ज्या भागातून येतात, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री त्या भागात येतात, तो आमचो जो बेज आसा अग्रिकल्चर जो आसा, विलेज एरिया आसा, हेतून आणि दुसरे तांकां पर्याय ना. मायनिंग असले ते स्टॉप जाल्ले आसा. सो ओन्ली आमच्या विलेजर्सांचो जो सर्वायवल जो आसा तो अग्रिकल्चर इट हॅज टू बी प्रोटेक्टेड. आम्ही काजूच्या सोसायटींतल्यान कोऑपरेटिव्ह काम करतात. काजूक जसो रेट जाय तसो मेळना, कॅश काजू एक कमी जायत आसा. आमचे कडेन एक युनिक प्रोजेक्ट आसा आमच्या आदर सोसायटी ऑर्गेनिक कॅशू. आनी मुख्यमंत्र्याक मुद्दम सांगून दिसता, आपेडा जे तुम्ही गोंयांत हाडपाक सोदतात, दिस आपेडा इज पुटिंग लॉट ऑफ रिस्ट्रिक्शन टू ऑर्गेनिक. आनी ऑर्गेनिक कॅशू जर करपाक जाय जाल्यार जी रिस्ट्रिक्शन आसा, फॉर एक्झाम्पल नॉट मोर दॅन 500 मेंबर, मागीर पर्टिक्युलर इन्स्पेक्शन, कॉस्ट, हे सगळे फॅक्टर म्हाका दिसता आसपाक जायना. तुम्ही आमचे वेलकम करता, तुम्ही हांगा आपेड्याचे ऑफिस हाडपाक सोदतात, ही काही सजेशन आसात. आनी म्हाका दिसता हेंचे हांगा राजारावान म्हणटा तशें की आमी हांगा उलयतात, ताजें इम्प्लिमेंटेशन जावपाक जाय, ताजें रिकॉर्डिंग जावपाक जाय, ताजें फॉलोअप जावपाक जाय. आनी नेक्स्ट टायम सुद्दां आमकां कळपाक जाय वॉट हॅज डिस्कस पास्ट, वेदर वॉट पर्सेंट इज इम्प्लिमेंटेड. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
Minutes, no? They have to read minutes.
थँक्यू प्रकाश बाब. खरें म्हणजे सगळे जाण जे वाट पळयतात की सेकंड विधानसभा ऑफ स्टेट तेंचे फेलिसिटेशन जावपाचें आसा, जे मेंबर आशिल्ले ते. पूण तेचे पयलीं हांव माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्याक विनंती करता